Authority. This is a severe weather update sponsored by Egan Insurance Agency. Family to family, business to business since 1954.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bruce Katz. Hannah Gard, Amber Wheeler with you all morning long. Line of storms moved in, heavy rain, some flooding reported, even quite a bit of wind damage on the West Bank. Now, flash flood watch still in effect. This is through Thursday afternoon and evening. So again, we're still not out of the woods for some heavy rainfall. Now, Viper has shown some optimistic moves. You can see in the metro, we are seeing some light to moderate rainfall, but the heaviest has been a little bit farther south and off to the east of us. So the flooding that we had earlier, especially around St. Charles Avenue and Clio Street, we had some reported water on the roadways, some of the underpasses. Those are now draining quite nicely. Let's take a radar tour. Coming down to the south, heavy storms along the coast and also south of Terrebonne Bay. In the metro, we're seeing those storms continuing to be with us, but not as heavy as they were. On the North Shore, as you can see, the rain pretty much slackening up. So some of the drainage doing well on the North Shore along I-12, I-55. Last night, very heavy rain in this area, up to 3 to 5 inches, and even they had tornado watches in effect. But now it goes from more of a severe weather mode, where we had the wind damage this morning on the West Bank, to now more of a potential flood threat. Let's come farther south. Leeville, Port Fourchon, heavy storms in this area, but you'll notice the movement basically off to the northeast and well south of Lafitte, Jean Lafitte, Lake Salvador, and Larose. Dulac and Homa down to Cocodrie, we are seeing some moderate rainfall, but the lightning has really diminished as well. So the atmosphere has kind of worked itself over. So still we have a lot of moisture, but we're not getting the big lift at this point. And with cooler temperatures in the upper 60s, it feels pretty nice out there. All in all, the worst of the storms are in the Gulf of Mexico, south of Venice. Here's Boothville, the mouth of the river near Pilot Town. Very heavy storms with lots of lightning. All that not heading our way, heading east into the eastern Gulf of Mexico. Then we take a look at the metro. We had flash flood warnings that were in effect. Now those have been dropped a bit earlier, but from Destrehan down to Paradis, Laplace, Luling, Destrehan in the river parishes, still seeing light to moderate rainfall, but this is rain we can handle. This rain rate is basically about a ½ an inch an hour. So even if it's stuck at this rate over the city, the pumps could keep up with it. That very heavy downpour earlier, Amber and also Hannah were showing up to 5 to 6 inches per hour on rainfall rates. Now that has come way down, which is good news. Now still the flood threat continues with more of, let's say, multiple rounds of rain, but right now trend looks a bit farther south, but the Storm Prediction Center indicating that we are still under a level 3 out of 4. So we can't let our guard down as of yet, but again, I'm getting a bit more optimistic. Here's the situation. In the upper levels, we've got a low that is just at a snail's pace moving eastward. We've got a surface feature and also this disturbance along this boundary in front. Now, yesterday we were concerned about any training where that would set up. This morning, we did have some of the heavy rain over the metro. Now, though, it is shifting a bit farther south into the Gulf of Mexico, which, of course, is great news. Let it rain in the Gulf, not over the New Orleans area. Here's a look now at the current conditions. Look at the temperatures. Rain-cooled air, upper 60s to right around 70. Actually feels pretty nice out there, but keep the umbrella nearby. We are seeing more rounds of showers moving in, but as mentioned, the heavier storms, the trend is a bit farther south. We will see more on rain than off rain through the afternoon into the evening. All this rain is moving northeastward, but the Gulf is kind of robbing the inland areas of the heavy rain, which, of course, no complaints about that. So as you can see, widening out again, the tail end of it is moving eastward. I do expect this afternoon to get a bit more of a break, but we still have to get this upper low finally to move. I mean, it's been hanging out there in the Four Corners. Over 2 days, it only moved from Arizona to Oklahoma City. Normally, 12 hours, that would be out of it. It's cut off from the main flow. We're just not getting any upper air movement to head this thing eastward quickly. As a result, we see these storms moving in, but we do see a bit of a wedge of dry air trying to make its way through. So I'm optimistic that we are beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel over the next 12 to 24 hours. Not saying we're out of the woods yet. However, it is something we're going to watch. This is a really good shot. Anywhere south of Terrebonne Bay, heading over toward areas of, say, Cocodrie, Grand Isle, mouth of the river, that's where the heaviest rain is. And that is, again, robbing the energy to the north. So the heavier stuff right now is over the Gulf and farther south. As we take a look, here's your future cast. Now, the modeling hasn't been good on this, so we've been nowcasting, meaning that we watch Viper live. So right now, that's what we look at. The models right now really showing heavy rain North Shore. We know that's not happening right now, but the trend is this. Notice as we move in time, the worst of it sags south and east. So by 3 to 5 o'clock, heavier rain begins to move out. And the models are now saying, this is why I'm optimistic, we may get a nice dry slot coming in through midnight all the way through tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow the models are backing down on the heavy rain threat. Also, we are still under the flood watch, so we're not going to let that guard down. But the optimism is here that we may not get as much rain as anticipated on Thursday. Now, I'm not going to discount it because we still have to watch it, but this is much better news with temperatures with less rain, well into the 80s. But we're not done yet. On Friday, this is overnight Thursday, this is midnight Friday. Heavy storms along the coastal areas, those move eastward. We're going to have to watch the rain moving into the city, but overall on Friday, after that moves out, things do begin to settle down just a bit. So one more time, here's Viper radar. Want to show you the North Shore. You're looking much better. We are going to see more on and off rain, light to moderate at times. Heavier rains down toward Raceland and Homa, and then farther east toward Port Sulphur. So right now, if you're heading out this afternoon, maybe going to lunch, going to the drugstore, maybe running errands, many schools have let kids out because they had so much wind and also power outages. On the West Bank, near the hospital at West Jeff, they have almost 200 yards of power poles that were blown down in one direction. That tells us likely it is going to be basically straight line winds, not tornadic winds. Of course, the Weather Service, they're going to go out and survey that, but at this point, it looks to be more of a straight line wind situation. Now, we're going to cut this off now. We're not going to have any more Fox 8 News at noon because all the anticipation, you've heard about it. Fox 8 is moving our studios to a major investment in New Orleans off of Howard Avenue. So we're going to be switching our signal from the old building to the new building. We are here in the event that anything does break as far as severe weather. We are able to get on the air, so don't worry about that. But nevertheless, right now it's 12:07. We're going to take a break. If we do need to cut back in, we're going to be here for you like the weather team always is. But until then, we're not going to be here through the noon hour, 1 o'clock hour, but we will be back live from our new home. Can't wait for that. Hopefully you'll enjoy that too, coming up on Fox 8 News at 4. Stay dry, keep the umbrella nearby. With that, we could see a couple of downpours, but right now, optimistic that the heaviest rain for now has moved on out. Fox 8 News at 4. We'll be back with you from our new building and our new studios. Can't wait for that. We'll see you then.
From Fox 8, your weather authority, this has been a severe weather update, sponsored by Egan Insurance Agency. Family to family, business to business since 1954.